What do you mean, the video, or?
I just think the acting is really cool to watch. Because there's a lot of acting.
I think it's from the 80s, and it's a promo video before the match starts. So to clear up. So you think it's cool?
It's from States.
Yeah.
Well, depends what kind of match, what's the fight like there.
Harminder Judge, he did not explain the choice of the videos, so he sent in an array of links on YouTube, and he precisely said he wants us to watch it on YouTube, and this is the sequence that he suggested. So we watched the videos according to his selection, and with no particular description. So I think they're free for interpretation.
For me, it seems like he's trying to channel something in that performance.
What do you mean channel? With performance you mean of this Ultimate Warrior?
What we just watched. Yeah. Particularly facing away from the camera at the beginning.
You mean how he turns around? How he turns around before the camera?
I feel that's some channeling of something.
Doesn't he look a little bit Nordic or a little bit Scandinavian?
Just think Indian inspired.
Kojak.
Should we watch another one, or should we?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, maybe we forgot to mention that his particular demand was for this experimental open forum to have the discussion made in a dark. Well, we tried to make it as dark as possible, but obviously I'm a little bit more present, but I cannot see any of the faces, so that's for you. I have no understanding who's who. So shall we go to the next one?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have any suggestions or things you want to say or interact, please do that by your voice. Otherwise, I cannot see how you nod your head or say no like this or anything. Nordic, and this one is representing Middle Eastern kind of stereotype, or?
But is it actually more playing on the culture of America and questioning that?
Do you think it's American point of view, or?
Just the reaction, I think, where we tried to push it for the American audience.
The questions of the audience was also very interesting. It seemed like they also kind of wanted to ask things that are like teasing or like maybe in a challengeful way, that they're challenging him so that he can kind of show himself.
Yeah, this guy's name was Iron Sheikh. It was called, or is called, the Attitude Era. So the stage, there is a lot of attitude happening. What kind of attitude is that?
I'm wondering how far it's real though, because are these real opinions or Are they scripted opinions? Because it makes a lot of difference. And if they are scripted, why are they scripted and why not? And then that's not a question you should answer, but it's a thought.
I don't know, I have this question. Do you think these people, they have the scripts, and they follow the script and everything is pre-planned, but they themselves, when they were choosing to do wrestling, they somehow chose the part that they were going to play? Or do you think I have not studied it deeply, but I think that people have the right to choose and stand for the character. So they choose the character and then they play along the lines and then they push it until the limit. This is...
Of course, it was like the first minute was like just a show from TV for the black guys, and then suddenly there was another guys that came and something needed to be pushed to like pump up the public and make more, I don't know, more money out of advertisements in the meantime later, or just wasn't like they just pop up there and started to be doggy.
Did you like the black guys or the white guys?
Who I like more?
Yeah.
Black guys.
Why?
Certainly the white guys just started like push up these racial stereotypes so much, and this racism felt like as an attitude.
Yeah, the same was in the previous video, yeah, about being American, Iranian, whoever, and
But then is that a necessary part of wrestling culture? I feel they could do it without it.
There is partially, it could be this good versus evil. I'm thinking about good versus evil in this case. Who is good and who's evil? I cannot say.
I guess it's usually the people being attacked are usually the victims. So.
Yeah, so the underdogs are the good ones. So.
but they did something to the car, yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did. And the car is sacred, isn't it?
Yeah. They just pissed.
That's why I decided to take their trousers off. We're on the stairs. Ready. Yes. I had this question. Does anybody in the audience follow wrestling, the professional or this kind of wrestling?
I used to go in Japan.
You used to watch?
Watch wrestling in Japan. Because my father was a big fan of wrestling.
Was it the Japanese wrestling?
Yeah, but almost same. It's completely copy of double. That always some different characters.
It's interesting. I have not ever watched Japanese wrestling. Do they also play on this like masculine stereotypes?
Yeah. But lately they have a kind of more alternative character, which is, for instance, like the fighter who like to do cosplay. So it's kind of represents some sort of a subculture or minority or some sort of type of people.
That suddenly get the power on the stage.
Yeah.
What do you think of this video?
kind of shows how much of wrestling happens off stage.
But you mean this preparatory time before the actual match happens? The actual fight? Or
Also, all this masculine ritual, I guess. Exploring all the body parts together with magic of some mystery power from another word. It was very satanistic actually in the beginning, with the cross, burning cross.
But it's also so illogical, like burning shoes and then black paint. And they seem really scared of this black paint.
I think there's all this just ways explore the same like in thriller movies or horror, just to catch the public and make them believe that the show is going on.
There's a nice shot of that man's face looking genuinely scared.
Yeah.
yes, that man was incredibly honest in his face expression. They're also thinking about of Harminder Judge intention for us to sit in the dark and be in a way without identities, only the voices. And then we watch these videos and the identity or the image, what they pick for to be on the stage is like all about screaming about the like very like vigorously screaming that the identity or the particular role. So I think it's an interesting contrast in here. It was called Crash the Plane.
He didn't talk about crashing anything.
No, it's called like this on YouTube. I don't know. It's called Crash the Plane. He's talking about facing the challenge, and it feels like a call for a war, or something. And it also looks like very, in a way, animalistic or very, very pre-traditional.
That's a tribe.
Yeah. Tribal or has a very simple kind of makeup and just
It was bird, I think, yeah, around his face.
a bird, you think?
Yeah.
Isn't it just a mask?
I think it was paint.
No, I think it was
it's
paint.
a paint, but it's not a bird. It's like a paint as a mask.
You mean so you can't recognise him at the supermarket?
In the supermarket?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think it's hard for him to get lost in a crowd with such a physique, but definitely no mask would disguise him.
So shiny as well.
Like all the girls are talking and almost no response from the male audience. I'm just wondering.
I have a comment. And,
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to figure out where to place the characters from the world of wrestling. Do they belong to fiction or do they belong to reality? And it seems that they occupy some strange position in between. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think that's quite interesting. Like, at least from the reactions from the audience, when we saw some clips from facial expressions from the audience, they are really in it, and experience it as something real.
Yeah, it seems like that, yes.
Yeah, it's new and it's very hypnotizing. It's also the same time when the gangster culture started in the 70s, but probably it's just more and more.
I think these are mostly 80s, isn't it?
Well, I think it's kind of a mix. So we began with the 80s, then we had some 2000s, and then we're back into the 80s. But I think it's still kind of consistent. We have until 8 o'clock. We have 9 minutes, and we have 5 more videos to watch. Should we watch a couple of more, or should we maybe continue the discussion?
Can I just quickly pick up on something?
Yes.
Something that Sibylle mentioned about the audience in these arenas being in it.
Yeah.
I used to watch wrestling quite a lot when I was younger, and I used to watch it on TV. It used to be on like late at night on English TV. But I also went to some of these kind of arena tours when the American wrestlers travelled over to England and kind of did these kind of big arena shows. But when you're watching it live in these kind of big arenas, you anticipate that you're going to be in it, but it's really awful. It's like you are sat backstage at a theatre, like you're in the wrong kind of seat almost. Because it's very, very difficult to follow. You're kind of 50 rows back in this arena, and the reality is that it's these kind of guys in this ring, and when you saw Papa Shango's curse with the blood falling down, you can't see that when you're at the back of an arena. And all this, and this idea of a spectacle is totally just kind of evaporates in my experience. It's totally destroyed. You've got 5 camera guys getting in the way because everything is built to, I think, really to kind of create this TV spectacle, this kind of fiction, I guess. But the reality is very different when you're kind of watching it.
But are there any, when you're there live, are there any breaks? Like when there's...
There are always breaks, yeah, because people...
But how does the character stop kind of playing their character? Or?
Yeah, they kind of walk off.
Okay.
They kind of walk, they just kind of walk backstage. Yeah, it's very strange. You feel like you're backstage when I guess when you attend, you think you're going to be, you think you're going to attend this. You think that the anticipation and the spectacle and everything else that comes with it when you're watching TV is going to be heightened, but actually it's kind of just wiped away. I think.
So the audience is just as much like a part of the set.
Yeah. But I think like when you see the clips of the people watching, I think they have a sense of like this kind of almost like an empty look on their face because.
But there's people there with big banners and things. They seem to be like really into it.
They prepare.
Yeah.
Now there's also this whole industry, like thousands of people work for it, and then there is all these channels, pay-per-view channels, that people actually pay money to watch these things, and they have this, this industry surrounding wrestling, the world of wrestling, and possibly it is definitely for the TV spectacle in a way.
But I think in that we're thinking audience plays quite a big role of who's gonna not win, but kind of make success in the wrestling world. Even though you don't have lots of fun, if you're a really good heel and having lots of audience as kind of enemy, they're gonna pick up. The organizer wanna battle this heel to the most like let's say hero guy, and so when I watched the wrestling, it was always some kind of like a history made up by audience memory is also a big part of wrestling. Like, okay, this guy and that guy had like a fight before. I mean, they were together, they were playing together, fighting together, but they had a fight between them, and then they broke up, and they opened a new wrestling house, and this kind of whole story that people memorize. That's also kind of a big